Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, your journey, our passion, and by Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com.
Welcome to Autoline Daily on this, one of the most fun holidays of the season, Halloween. I hope you get a bunch of happy trick-or-treaters tonight, but before you do, let's get to the news. All week long, Nissan North America has been bringing in the media to drive and learn about its new Rogue. We'll have a lot more about this vehicle in future shows, but for now, here are the basics. This is a completely new vehicle. It's the first new product to use Nissan's and Renault's common module family architecture. It's kind of like VW's MQB. CMF doesn't share platforms. Instead, it shares groupings of components, all with the idea of slashing cost. For the North American market, production of the Rogue is being moved out of Japan to Nissan's U.S. plant in Smyrna, Tennessee. This is a bigger vehicle than the old Rogue, yet it gets better fuel economy. In fact, it gets a 33 mpg highway rating, but that's all the info we have on fuel economy for the moment. The only powertrain is a 170 horsepower, 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine, mated to a CVT. The base price is $23,350. Fully loaded, it's $32,270. But Nissan is going to keep the old Rogue in production, what it now calls the Rogue Select, and it starts at under 20 grand. There's some really interesting technical details on the new Rogue, so stay tuned. 2 years ago, Panasonic partnered with Tesla to provide the EV maker with lithium-ion battery cells, and now the two companies are expanding that relationship. Panasonic will now supply Tesla with 2 billion battery cells over the next 4 years. Those cells will be used for the Model S as well as the upcoming Model X, which will make its debut at the end of 2014. Back in September, we showed you these pics of Audi Sport Quattro concept that it showed off at the Frankfurt Motor Show. But if that left you wanting more, you can thank Audi's Facebook fans because now that they number over 100,000 strong, the company released this video of the car. And just in case you've forgotten, the Sport Quattro concept is a plug-in hybrid that produces 700 horsepower. I know that a video is no substitute to having your butt in the seat, but at least you can see what the concept will look like tearing up the street and hearing it in its full glory. And now it's SCION'S turn to show us what it will have on display at next week's SEMA show. The brand will have 5 vehicles on display as well as 3 2014 TCs that are competing in SCION'S Tuner Challenge. And no big surprise here is that 4 of the 5 vehicles are FRSs that look like they range from light performance upgrades to track-ready racers. The other vehicle is a slammed XB that's also been stretched and given suicide doors. Hey, don't forget to tune in to Autoline After Hours tonight. Our guest will be Mitch Claw, the vehicle line executive for the new Jeep Cherokee. Get your questions ready, and then join me and the auto extremist Peter DeLorenzo for the best insider information in the business. That's tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, or check out our website or our YouTube channel or the iTunes store tomorrow if you cannot join us tonight. Coming up next, automakers are straining to keep up with demand, and yet they're also about to launch a record number of new vehicles in the next 5 years. How can they cope with the crunch? That's coming up next.
Here's one of the great things about the all-around performance of our Dueler tires. Excellent traction.
Do you need a ladder?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
At Bridgestone, our passion for performance knows no bounds.
What a difference 5 years makes. Only 5 years ago, North American automotive OEMs and suppliers were focused on taking out idle capacity. Layoffs, bankruptcy, and mothballing assets were the unfortunate reality. Latin America, particularly Mexico, had lost significant ground to labor arbitrage in Asia. The messages and the activity around manufacturing in the U.S. have taken a dramatic turn. automotive is again a highly profitable growth industry in the Americas. Now the pace of new products and thus the launch curve are accelerating exponentially. Maybe even more surprising is the resurgence of Mexico as an important manufacturing hub, as global OEMs look to capitalize on the growing North American market. This Autoline report will give you a glimpse into the expected launch activity, Latin America's part in that activity, and some of the pitfalls and opportunities that come with this kind of change. The level of new model launches over the next 3 years is at an all-time high. There's a 27% increase in the average number of launches, including facelifts, redesigns, and new product entries, when one compares 2007 to 2011 versus the expected activity from 2011 to 2017. In particular, 2014 has an extraordinary peak of new production starts in both South and North America. In an industry coming off significant layoffs, downsizing, and resource constraints, this level of activity is straining supplier resources. Despite best efforts across the board, we are seeing the toll for this spike in activity in launch delays and quality issues, which, if unchecked, can lead ultimately to financial losses and perhaps even losses in market share. The resource strain is visibly evident in the tightening of plant capacity across North America in particular. From a low capacity of 47% in 2009, plant production capacity has risen to 90% in 2013. Comfortable capacity tends to run at 85% to 90% in order to accommodate peaks in demand over any one period of time. To manage the overall market growth spurred by all of this new product and economic stability in the Americas, the global OEMs are launching new plants. The surprise growth area in this regard is Mexico. While the capacity change in Mexico was quite flat and even falling from 2011 to 2013, there's a significant magnitude of change moving from 2014 through 2016. Mexico actually has the most number of new assembly plants planned in the next 3 years, tied surprisingly with China and Brazil. In several cases, we are seeing parts that had been outsourced to Asia coming back into North America via Mexico as the true cost and risk of outsourcing certain classes of parts has become more evident. This leads to extraordinary growth opportunities along with a new palette of risk issues. Manufacturers, anxious not to repeat the mistakes of the past, are looking to manage risks related to this changing environment of increased production, new product, and new consumers. As manufacturers work to mitigate these risks, launch preparedness, working capital acceleration programs, and specific region-based experience are critical to success. KPMG has dynamic launch assessment tools customized to meet the needs of your specific product and plant. We work with manufacturers to develop action plans that can be implemented from the design phase through on-site execution with the supply chain. Growth is the greatest consumer of working capital. True benchmark level working capital management includes not only the typical days accounts outstanding, but effective cash forecasting, tax management, and development of a cash culture. SKU proliferation and the effectiveness of the distribution channels have a direct impact on cash and ultimately on value. KPMG helps your team to take advantage of the opportunities in the working capital cycle and will build the systems, skills, and metrics that will make the changes sustainable. Managing a profitable manufacturing process and supply chain in Latin America amidst the growing demands on talent and capacity require in-country understanding of the state profiles, along with labor availability and costs, which can vary substantially by region. The changing customs, VAT, and trade agreements across the Americas are a core competency of the KPMG tax team. I'm Kimberly Rodriguez, and we welcome the opportunity to speak with you on a successful launch management and working capital effectiveness.
To learn more about KPMG, visit www.kpmg.com/automotive.
You know, it really is amazing to see how many new car launches are going on right now. Anyway, that wraps up today's report. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.